Hi guys, this is a beginner's crochet tutorial. We're going to be working on chain stitch and UK double crochet, also known as American single crochet. The first thing you're going to need is a crochet hook, or if you're like me, a lot of crochet hooks, some yarn. Do make sure that you're using the right size hook for your size yarn you've purchased. Do check the label, it will give you all the information that you need. To get us started, we're going to make a sliding knot on our first chain. So take your yarn, follow the video to wrap your yarn around your fingers, making sure that you slide your hook underneath the first piece of yarn and over the second. Pull through, you will have your knot. Very easy to undo. If you do wrong, try again. Wrap the yarn around your fingers, put the hook under the first piece of yarn, over the second, we're going to hook it through and you will have your knot and your first chain. Now we're going to wrap our yarn around our left hand. We're going to thread it through our fingers. This is going to control the flow of the yarn. It's going to help us to start our double crochet. Keep practicing, watch the video. If it's uncomfortable for you, maybe find a different way for you to wrap your yarn so you can begin your double crochet. Using your middle finger and your thumb on your left hand, I'd like you to hold on to your first chain. Using your right hand, I'd like you to maneuver the hook so that you can hook round the yarn in your left hand. We're going to pull it through gently and controlled. You do want to create really even stitches. As you can see, every time I pull a new chain stitch through, I move my middle finger and my thumb up my work just to keep it nice and even and pull through a steady chain. Doesn't matter if you do this wrong, you can pull it apart, undo it, do it again, it's no problem at all. Keep going until you have 20 chain stitches and keep going until you have even chain stitches. If you find you have some that are large, some that are small, undo it, try again. Make sure you keep moving your hand forwards, keep holding on to the last chain you have created. Now you have 20 chains. You can see the chain stitches have a top and a bottom. The top sits more to the left and the bottom sits further to the right. We're now ready to start working in double crochet. The first thing you're going to need to do again is to wrap the yarn around your hand in that comfortable position. We're going to create one more chain. This is called a turning chain. Turning chains are used to create the height of your next row. To create your first double crochet, we are going to ignore the first chain and we're going to push the hook through the top section of the second chain. Wrapping the yarn around the hook, we would gently pull the hook through that section of the chain. You will now have 2 loops of yarn on your hook. Make sure there are definitely 2. Then wrap the yarn again around the hook and pull it through your 2 loops. This is now your first double crochet stitch. You're now going to work into every chain. Do make sure that you keep your chain stitch flat and straight, okay? So make sure that you are still using your middle finger and your thumb to hold on and to control your work. If you need to repeat any of these steps, just wind the video back, take it back, watch it again, and keep going. I'm going to slow this right down for you again. We're going to very carefully move our thumb and our finger down our work. We're going to take the hook, we're going to pop it through that top section of the chain. Then we're going to wrap the yarn around the hook. We're going to pull it through the chain. Make sure again you move your thumb and your finger up your work. check that you do have 2 loops on your hook. Wrap the yarn round the hook again. We're going to pull it through nice and gently to create your next double crochet. Don't worry if you get your yarn and your hook all caught up. This happens to me all the time. Just keep persevering, take it nice and steady. Continue working to the end of the chain. Make sure you are counting your stitches. Make sure you know how many you have left. Don't worry if you misfire your yarn around your hook. As you can see, this also happens a lot. Just take your time, keep working through, take the video back if you need to watch it again, and work all the way through now to the end until you have 20 double crochet on your chain stitch. Working into your last chain can be a bit tricky for some people, so your sliding knot may make the last chain appear larger than the rest of them. Don't let this throw you out, this is not a problem. So do make sure that you are finding that last chain, you are following the instructions to create your double crochet. Take it nice and slowly. It's a bit more tricky, you don't really have anything to hold on to. But once you've made that final double crochet, we're just going to give the little tail of yarn at the end, we're going to give it a little tug, allow that knot to slide forwards. It's going to create a very even chain for you. You've now created your first row of double crochet. And if you take a look at it, you can see that it's similar in appearance to the chain stitch. This does help you to count your stitches once again. To move on, we now need to flip our work from right to left. Again, make sure you are using your middle finger and your thumb to hold your work. Make sure you wrap your yarn nicely around your hand. We're going to create another turning chain. Again, ignore that first chain, but this time, instead of working through one part of the stitch, we are going to push our hook through both top sections of the double crochet. Push it through, wrap the yarn around, pull it through, 2 loops on your hook, wrap your yarn, pull it through once again. And just continue in this pattern. Push the hook through both parts of the double crochet and continue in the same manner you did before, learning to create your double crochet stitch. Just make sure you are always moving that middle finger and that thumb down your work. Continue to work steady and slow to create very even double crochet stitches. We've now hit that last stitch, so make sure that you locate it, you push your hook through both sections of that first double crochet, and you create your last double crochet on your second row. So if you count through your stitches, you should find that you still have 20 stitches. This is a good time to take a look at your work. If you find that you're not happy with anything that you've done, if there are any errors, you can just take your hook out of your work, pull the yarn, and it will come undone with ease. Then you can redo any work that you feel is not quite good enough. The best way to learn is repetition. So I suggest that you continue in this manner for 20 rows. So that will be 20 rows of 20 double crochet. And do make sure every time you reach the end of a row that you turn your work from right to left. Always start with a turning chain. We never crochet into the turning chain, we just leave that on the hook. That is allowing us the height for our stitch. As we move on to working different stitches, you will find we are using a different number of turning chains. And this is because different stitches hold different heights. But carry on, rewind the video back if you need to, take another look at something if you're not sure, but keep working until you've created a square. So we've now finished our 20 rows of 20 double crochet. Use your hook, pull it to create a big loop. We don't want our work to come undone whilst we're having a good look at it. As you can see, you have your chain stitch and then you have your 20 rows. Because the work is flipped, the rows will look different. Count through them. Make sure they are even. Make sure you do have 20. We're now going to use our scissors to cut our main yarn. We're simply going to loop that piece of yarn through the loop we've created and pull it tight. Using a small lace crochet hook if you have one. If you don't, you can use a needle. You can then pick up the back stitches just so we can tuck that piece of yarn away. Again, pop your small lace crochet hook through part of a stitch, grab hold of your yarn and pull it through. This keeps it nice and tidy and will stop it from coming undone. Take your scissors, give it a good snip, make sure you don't cut your work. The times that I have done that is unbelievable. And for a slightly different method, you can tie a knot. So you can do the same process. Use your lace crochet hook and in that loop, rather than pulling through, we're going to create yet another knot. This secures the work slightly more. It will definitely stop it from coming undone. And then using your lace hook again, pick up a few stitches from the back and just pull that yarn thread through. And there you have your finished square. Thanks for watching. I do hope this video was helpful to you. If you want to progress with your crochet and learn some different stitches, and we can move on to making some real awesome things as well, then please do subscribe and don't forget to hit that notification button. See you soon, guys.